The birth of the Mindful Living Network, from Wall Street to wellness. Living my unmindful life. I had all the trappings of success as measured by our culture. My husband, a physician, and 2 daughters, and I lived a few blocks away from the governor's mansion in a majestic home. I drove to my office in my Mercedes-Benz daily as a stockbroker at a Wall Street firm. I lived by the success model of doing everything faster and better than any of my competitors. My life was very well calculated and moving at a planned, orchestrated pace, when one day, in a split second, everything stopped. I had landed at the airport as usual on Monday morning, grabbed a cab to the World Trade Center. I jumped out of the cab and went to the elevator to reach the 104th floor. As I exited the elevator, my chest got tight. I thought I was having a heart attack. I sat there and realized it was a panic attack. Then, subsequently, along with panic attacks and insomnia, a new keen sense of awareness began to emerge. As I went to work each day, I noticed we all had seemed to act like zombies. I noticed how people were buying lunch from sidewalk carts, then mindlessly eating as they walked away. Everywhere I looked, everyone and everything began to look the same. It seemed as if we were all living in some trance. My well-designed life had started to unravel. Later, still in New York, I was at a Manhattan apartment when I walked into a library and stumbled upon an old copy of Thoreau's journal. I opened the book, and there was a quote that changed my life forever. Thoreau said, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived." The realization that nature could be my greatest teacher left me caught between awe and absolute terror. In that singular moment, everything shifted. I couldn't go back to the way I'd been. There was no retreating. As the tears streamed down my face, I was paralyzed as the despair I was feeling sank into my soul. So I made a choice, one that would fracture my old reality and redefine my life forever. Discovering the cabin, beginning a mindful life. 1 week later, after I'd quit, I purchased 300 acres of land on the edge of 1 million acres of wild forest in the Chattahoochee National Forest. There was a rustic cabin that rested by a 20-acre lake. The cabin had no electricity, water, gas, kitchen, or bathroom. I felt like I was in Thoreau's cabin by the lake. There were no roads. I hiked through dense woods to the cabin for the first year, but I was determined to live up to Thoreau's challenge. I was going to face the challenge of living mindfully and authentically, no matter what. I would release the life that I had so masterfully orchestrated. I was going to turn this land into a working farm. After I had packed away my Chanel and St. John, I proceeded to the local dry goods store, where I purchased 2 pairs of overalls, 4 t-shirts, and a pair of work boots, and began my journey. With each step, I chose to release the life I had created and surrender to the unfolding of a mindful, authentic life. Going to the woods. As I pushed open the old log cabin door, 2 black scorpions rushed across the planked floors and disappeared into the fireplace. An unfriendly welcome, but I knew there was no turning back now. A faint light filtered through the closed shutters. It smelled musty and moldy. I was sure the cabin hadn't been opened in many, many years. The old wood floor creaked as I slowly walked across it to open the shutters and invite in the daylight. There were dried snake skins on the floor. Whew. Standing in the midst of the dancing cobwebs and swirling dust, I realized I had taken my first step on a journey with no map, no directions, and no clear destination. In the stark silence that engulfed me, I knew my choice to live a mindful, authentic life would change the rest of my life. And for the first time, I sensed the adventure. I felt alive, and I knew the uncertainty of my choice. The cabin had no electricity, no water, no gas, no kitchen, no bathroom. I surveyed the outside and discovered an outhouse and a rain barrel on the far side of the cabin. Back on the front porch, I snuggled into an old rocker that had been left behind. And in anticipation of the days ahead, I pulled a scrap of paper from my pocket to write on. As I began making a list of how-to books I would need on plumbing, construction, electrical work, a rush of energy and a sense of power surged through every cell of my body. I grinned as I rocked back and forth in that old tattered rocker that creaked with each time I rocked. In this primitive cabin in the North Georgia mountains, I was ready. I was ready, and I was a long way from my previous life. The magic of the lake. The lake was fed by several springs and rushing creeks. It was a massive natural habitat for innumerable species. The mountain animals made their daily trek to our 20-acre lake to be nourished by this pure mountain water. I learned to observe the tremendous variety of birds, brown bears, sows and cubs, deer and their fawns, coyotes, bobcats, otters, beavers. The lake was a magnet for all wildlife. Our lake was a magical place filled with energy and life. The simple cottage. After living in the rustic cabin for 3 years, I wanted to live deeper and closer to the lake, closer to our horses and foals and the wildlife. With the help of our beloved game wardens, in their spare time, we built a little 500 square foot cottage together by the lake. Jim and I sold our home in Atlanta and stored our paintings, antiques, furniture, everything we owned for 5 years. I wanted to challenge my husband and myself to live with only the bare essentials so we could focus on living authentically. Wounded and sick animals emerged from the woods regularly, and we were constantly helping them at our door. We cared for them as they arrived daily. This is how our animal rescue operation was born and evolved eventually into the Habersham Humane Society. The birth of the Mindful Living Network. My choice to surrender had planted the seeds of the Mindful Living Network deep in my soul. After over 20 years of working the farm, building homes, stables, and the Center for Mindful Living, rescuing animals and people, growing and canning our food, and creating a horse farm, I decided to share what I had learned with the world. I believed people really wanted to live an authentic life with great meaning and happiness, but they just don't know how. I became aware that the world needed a credible, curated destination for learning how to live mindfully. And so, the birth of the Mindful Living Network. Well, the magic of the Mindful Living Network was born, and I profoundly believed in the power and auspicious nature of the number 8. I decided to launch the Mindful Living Network on August 8th, 2008 at 8 p.m. on the 8th minute and on the 8th second. That was on the 8th year, 8th month, 8th day, 8th hour, and 8th second of that day. I reasoned that birthing the Mindful Living Network from the womb of the universe on that auspicious 8, the sign of infinity, would bless, protect, and guide its life way beyond me. In 2008, mindful living and mindfulness were fringe concepts on the margins of society, but over the last 10 years, they have become a critical core and centrist concept for transforming our mental and physical health, wellness, relationships, work, family, society, and our environmental challenges. We have numerous studies showing the benefit of mindful living for our health, happiness, and productivity across all aspects of our lives. I founded the Mindful Living Network in the woods, learning what it had to teach. And I hope and pray it goes into the world to teach others to live an authentic life.